In a previous video, I showed you how to use AI to create an awesome structured outline for a profitable course. I will link to that prompt that I use below so you can take that and run with it. But once you have an awesome outline, then what do you do with it? Do you put it in a Google Doc? Do you just write it down on paper? Steal this trick and use Notion. Okay. It's something that I teach my students to use all the time. It is a free tool. And I was opposed to it initially, and I actually wasn't using it before last year. And once I started using it, it has been a game changer. And a student of mine that recently used it said the same exact thing. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Notion to outline your course the right way, to add little notes, to script it if you are talking through your course like this rather than following a slideshow, to make your course much smoother and more efficiently, and just to save you time, because the more time we spend, the less likely that we're going to get that course finished. And we want it to be launched. We want to put it out there to make sales. That's the whole point. So let's dive into Notion. Okay, so here we are in Notion. Hey, here I am. We're going to take that outline right now and pop it into Notion. Now, Notion, again, is a free tool. All you have to do is sign up and give your email, and then you have access to this awesome dashboard. So what we're going to do first is go copy and paste our outline. Remember, I used that prompt that I talked about that I'll share below in the description to create this. Now, we're going to come back for you. For now, have it copied. Okay, did you do it? You can do it with me. Once it's copied and you open up Notion, and by the way, when you open up, just create a new space. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. I like to call my spaces or each of these the course title name, obviously. And then right here, all you have to do is paste it in. Now, it's not going to look perfect, right? We're going to have to edit this a good amount, but we're one step closer to finishing our course right now. So Notion, the way it works is it works in headers. So if you click here, you can see the little plus sign. You can add text. This is normal size text. If you guys use the Notes app in your phone, if you have an Apple phone, I don't know if it's in an Android, but the Notes app has these options as well. So you may be a little bit more familiar with it. Text, a header is going to be your biggest text up here, your bolded text. H2 is going to be a little bit smaller, H3 even smaller of a header, but they're going to be a little bit more bolded. That's why they're called headers. If you want to add a bulleted list or a numbered list, you can do that as well. Okay. So right now, we already have this put in place. So in order to change it, all we have to do is click on these little 6 dots here, and we can turn it into something else if we want. Toggles are the biggest reason why I use Notion. They're a life changer or a course coach life changer, I should say, because they're going to allow you to embed our script and things inside of our outline very easily so that we can see it at a glance. If you're not seeing, my hair right here is all, okay, we're good. If you're not seeing your course outline at a glance and from like if you take a step back and you're not seeing it collectively and seeing immediately where one module is going to the next module, you're not going to get a good idea of how it's flowing. So the alternative of what I used to do is I would put it in a Google Doc, or I just put it in my slideshow, and I wouldn't even have an outline separate to follow, which is no bueno. We don't want to do that, because then that's not really showing us, oh, okay, well, I already talked about this here. This is the flow I want to go in, and I want it to be smooth for my students so that we create bingeable content. I'm really big on bingeable content. If your students are not finishing your course, it was a complete waste of time. And if you're just in it for the money, like, well, I got their $100, I'm good, then you need to find something else to do. Because as a course creator, if you want to build your brand, you want to build your reputation and students who come back and buy more from us. And that's what I teach my students, right? Bingeable content. Anyway, so here are the toggles. Let me show you. So we can move this around if we want. Look, so easy to move. So if we want to move lesson 1 here, lesson there, if we're like, oh, you know what? Lesson 1 would actually do better. Like choosing the right transformation, it would be better down here. We can move it down there. That makes it super easy. No more Post-its. It's not 1990 anymore. And then you can change it into a toggle. This is what I like. So hit that, go right here, toggle list, or you can do toggle header. I'm going to do toggle heading 1. That's a little big. Let's change it to, I mean, it's all what your preference is. Toggle heading 3 there. Now, because I made it a toggle, look, open, closed, open. Now, once I open it, I can put my script in or my notes for lesson 1. So that at the end of when you're done creating your course, you don't have pages and pages of notes to go through. And if you do this is what you'd end up doing: scrolling all the way to top, scrolling all the way to the bottom, scrolling to find things, and it will drive you insane. Trust me. So the toggles are going to be a game changer. So once you open the toggle, then you click and you start typing your script. Now, there's 2 ways to record your course. If you want to be the overachiever and you're really comfortable with filming and technology and setting up a teleprompter, or you're really good speaking off the cuff, then there's different ways that you want to record your course. For me, in my recent course I just published, I transcribed it word for word and I put it on a teleprompter and I read it, because I have a tendency to ramble. But I'm getting better at that. The more you speak, the more you get better. But it helped just keep things moving. And my lessons were all less than 20 minutes long, which again, contributes to bingeable content. If you're making your lessons 40 minutes, an hour, and thinking that's the more is better, no. It's a terrible decision. You need to re-record those lessons, cut things out, stop talking so much, and get your point across quicker. People don't have time these days. So if you want to transcribe it word for word, you say, hello, welcome to my course. I am so excited you are here. This is what I say in all my courses. I think people feed off your energy. And if you're not excited and you're not giving them those high vibration frequencies, again, they're not going to finish. They're not going to like you as much, and they're not going to be a returning customer. So just keep those things in mind. And then you can just continue to type everything out. And then once you're done for lesson 1, I said what I had to say, close it up. And then we're going to go to lesson 2. Now I'm going to delete this. And then I'm going to change this the way I want. So we made this. Remember, turn into, we're going to do toggle heading 3, and then everything under here is irrelevant because I'm just going to rewrite it now. Okay, toggle heading 3. Okay, this lesson 3 happened to go under 2. So do you see how it's embedded? I'm just going to pull this out. Okay, so there we go. Open, closed, open, closed. So what I do when I'm finished, I'll just keep them closed, right? And then as I'm going through the lessons, I'll open them up and read my script or read my notes. Now, if you're not scripting it and you're going off of a slideshow, which I highly recommend as a first-time course creator or a second time or third, it just makes things so much easier. I just launched a mini course last week in 1 week using a slideshow in Canva. So easy. All I did was hit record and I didn't need to take notes here. Now, I do highly recommend if you work better and teach and coach better from going off of a outline with notes, this is what you would do. You would include remember plus sign. You would go to bulleted lists, or you can do numbers, whatever you want to talk about. Let's do numbers, and you talk about your 3 or your main point, and then you include sub points under that main point. So every lesson should have one main thing that you're trying to get across. I have a whole course outline framework that I can also link to below that helps you kind of get an idea of how to outline your course or your lessons so that you're not including things that don't need to be included and you're just focusing on what you do need to include. So we're going to just focus on main topic, right? And then under there, again, it's going to be embedded, right? Main topic, and then subtopic 1, subtopic 2, subtopic 3. Now, if that's all you need to go off the cuff and say, yeah, okay, main topic, here I go, I'm going to record and run with it. That's fine. But if you want to add more, you can add more toggles underneath each. You see? Okay. And then a list underneath. Actually, we don't want to make that a toggle. We want to make the one above it a toggle. So we're going to make this a toggle, turn into toggle list. Where is the toggle list? Here. Okay, there. Okay, so then under this, you can say, let's see, evidence, supporting evidence, story about supporting. I always talk, again, bingeable content. I talk about sharing stories or relatable anecdotes or analogies with your students so that they can relate to what you're saying. It makes such a big difference, trust me. Okay, there we go. And then look, you can close everything up and it goes away so that you're not super overwhelmed with everything. So say, okay, we're on lesson 1. We say hello, we look at it. You can either read it word for word if you have a teleprompter. I have tips on using a teleprompter, but again, if you're not comfortable with it, don't do it, especially if it's your first course. You're going to get so frustrated, you're just going to give up. So what I would suggest to do is go with the lesson 2 outline approach and put your main topic, put subtopic 1, subtopic 2, subtopic 3, put maybe little points about each subtopic. In addition, another reason why I love Notion is when you're creating your lessons and outlining your lessons, you can add little comments to each area of your lesson. So you can say, include photo of my blank, just to support that subtopic, right? There we go. And now I won't forget when I go back and create my slides, I say, oh, okay, I got to include that photo. And you can keep adding more and more comments and notes so that you know what PDFs, what resources, what templates, what notes to include, what links to add. Then when you're putting your course together at the end of the day, and you're uploading it to your platform at the end of the whole journey, and then you're uploading it to your course platform, you can easily come and say, okay, yeah, that's right. I have to upload this PDF, right? That's it. So toggles are the way to go. And then I would just repeat it for the rest of my course outline. One thing I really want to talk about is add-ons. And I put this in my ChatGPT prompt for a reason, because I teach my students how to build a course backwards in a sense, so that once you create your outline, you're now thinking about the finish line and all of the offers that you're going to stack on top of each other. Because if you're planning on just selling one course and nothing else, you're crazy. And I made that mistake too. And you don't know better. It's not your fault. But if you learn how to stack your offers at the end and you have an extra order bump, like, a published checklist, when I publish my course, if I can just go through a checklist and check, that would make my life easier. So yeah, add to cart, $10 more. Oh, a comparison cheat sheet. Yep, add to cart. So a $65 course with a couple order bumps turns into like maybe an $85 purchase, right? And then you add an upsell because maybe you want to do a 30-minute clarity call or a 30-minute call with them to teach them your process and elaborate and answer their questions. You add that on as an upsell. So then $50 later, $100 later, the total overall order value is so much increased. That's how people make businesses from their courses. So if you want to learn how to build your course backwards so that you're making the most money at the end when you publish your course and people are buying it, then watch this video here on how I build my course backwards to focus on just basically getting more money. Okay. So I'll see you in the next video.